So the Final Fantasy Pixel remasters have finally come out. 1 through 3 came out the other day. I went ahead and bought Final Fantasy 1 just as sort of a test drive to see if I wanted to even grab the other ones. And here at the end of this video we're going to be answering the question as to whether or not I'm going to. But for now, let's go ahead and talk about what I've experienced with Final Fantasy 1. I have personally always liked Final Fantasy 1 because the world is essentially already built. You just have to traverse it in a certain way. Now that is typically how most RPGs are, but you're not really told where to go in Final Fantasy unless you talk to NPCs. You just get one item and give it to someone, then you get another item, or you have to go to a dungeon and give another item to someone else. The story involves Garland, who is a knight turned traitor, and kidnap the princess, and 4 warriors of light appear, defeat Garland, and then go on this epic quest. Garland goes back in time to become Chaos.
I want to kill Chaos.
So he summons a bunch of monsters you have to beat, you power up the crystals, change your class, and kick Chaos's ass. I think that this Pixel remaster is actually pretty good. The battles and moving across the map are very smooth. And yes, the font isn't great, but it's honestly a lot better than I think pictures make it look. I still went ahead and swapped the fonts, and I'll leave a link for how to do that down below in the description. The sprites are derivative of the originals, and I honestly think they're a lot better than I think most people are giving them credit for. I think they did a pretty good job with it personally. There is, by the way, an option for a classic aesthetic where it makes the screen look like you're playing on a CRT. I will say that they cut out the GBA and PSP extra dungeons, so if that's a deal breaker for you, it doesn't have them. I'm here to tell you right now, it doesn't have them, I don't think. It does, however, include a few cool things that I'm about to talk about here in just a sec. The game just feels great to play. They made a few cool changes such as auto-battling, a window that pops up with everyone's stat changes when they level up, and diagonal walking. I honestly thought that they were overhyping this whole 8-directional movement, but it's actually pretty cool. Combat still feels as smooth as it did in the PSP version, perhaps even smoother. The auto-battling really helps, especially against big mobs in the early game when you don't have very powerful magic. They also redid the music, and while it sounds really nice, I personally like most of the older arrangements a little bit better. They've also got a bestiary, a gallery that includes concept art, and a music player within the title screen menus. Otherwise, it's still Final Fantasy 1, basically with revamped visuals and some quality of life features tossed in. So the big question is, does this make me want to buy the others? Yes, honestly it does. It makes me want to grab maybe a couple of them. I don't know if I'll grab all of them, but I will probably at least grab 3 and maybe 5 or 6. Maybe both of them, I don't know. It doesn't necessarily rekindle the magic of when I first played this game, which is I think on PS1, but there was enough of a spark that still draws me in and makes me want to keep playing and possibly get the other games. Plus they said if demand was high enough for these, they'd consider putting them on console. So I'm trying to help out on that end as well. I will go ahead and note that while I do really like these remasters, they're not must-have games. They're not something like if you are saving up for another game or saving up for something, or you have, you can't really be spending a whole lot of money, don't worry about these. Essentially, you have tons of other versions to choose from. You don't absolutely need these. They're cool if you have the money for them, and you can just buy them if you want. I may also do a little video here about Final Fantasy 3, seeing as how it's never been released in 2D outside of Japan, so I'm really happy about that. I'm looking forward to playing it. And that's going to do it for this video, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. If you enjoyed it, please go ahead and click the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you want to see some more or hear some more RPG talk here in the future. And if you want to chat with me live about anything discussed in this video or videos prior, I do stream live on Twitch. We're doing just Sundays now. We're going to be starting, we usually start here in like the early afternoon. So be sure to check that out if you would like to do that. As always, everybody, have a wonderful day, evening, night, wherever and whenever you are, and as always, stay crazy.